Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. For this video, we're going to be discussing a little bit about FC26. Now, I haven't had the time to do an actual live reaction video to the FC26 trailer because life. But let me just tell you this. I saw the trailer during my free time, and I gotta tell you this, man. It's looking pretty good for FC26. Now, I know there's a lot of skepticism when it comes to this game. I know there's a lot of skepticism when it comes to pretty much anything EA drops, but I gotta say that this is probably one of the first trailers I've seen in a while where the company itself actually takes accountability for what they're, what they're lacking in all these like previous FCs, specifically FC25, where I think FC25 just became the biggest prime example as to why this game is on its last legs, basically, or at least it feels that way. It really does feel this way. So just to give you guys a little, contextual thing, right? Or at least, a little perspective. FC25 for me, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, is considered literally the worst FC / FIFA ever. Period. Like no points or anything. People have generally agreed that this game has been horrible. Horrible from beginning to end. And let me just say this, right? When FIFA lost the license, when EA lost the license to the FIFA name, they give us all these excuses, right? They give us, I'm pretty sure that when FIFA, when we go for FC, we're gonna be like released from the shackles of what FIFA was giving us, like, to telling us to do or whatever, right? FC24 comes around, so many mess ups, so many screw ups. The gameplay was still pretty bad. But at the very least, there was some content that was at the very least fun. There was some good content. It was okay, more or less. It wasn't like crazy, but at the very least, some of the hype was still there. It still existed for the most part, right? FC25 then drops. From beginning to end, you can already tell that people just did not like the game. The slower pace of the game, the constant delay, the passing horrible, the shooting overpowered in some cases, the defending was so AI heavy oriented on the AI that it almost felt like, it was impossible to score. There was no skill in defending, there was no skill in attacking, there's no skill in formations, there's no tactics that basically allow for variety. All the tactics that you have to do are basically only one and done. Tactics and formations, players, everything has to have a meta. And when there's only a meta for a certain player or a certain formation and stuff like that, then that just becomes the only thing that people can use to gain an advantage, because every single formation just becomes obsolete. Literally every single formation. Especially even now. Even now, FC25 right now has to constantly have people rely on 4-2-1-3, or at the very least 4-2-2-2. If you're gonna play park the bus at that point, then you just have to use the 4-2-3 to the 4-2-1-3, and you're set. You're all set. That's all you really need. All you just need is defenders that have anticipate plus, and jockey, and maybe a little bit of bruiser on the wing backs, and you're all set. That's all you need to do. Of course, you have to get like Theo. You have to get Thuram, say for example, or say like on the center backs, you need players that have anticipate plus and this and that. But there's no variety in that, because literally the most expensive players like Van Dijk and stuff like that, those are going to be the ones that you're going to need anyways, because all the other players don't have the proper animations to basically win you the ball consistently. You can't really use any other player other than the meta ones, because if you don't use the meta ones, then you're pretty much screwed. That's pretty much the whole idea, right? And it's become a lot more harder for me specifically on this main account that I have, like my current main account. I told myself, right, this is going to be probably Dries Mertens' last year as a player. And he was a fan favorite player that I've had since I started playing FIFA. And I plan to use Dries Mertens' card throughout the entire year. And I got to say, man, in some cases, it's been difficult using him because he didn't have the proper playstyles. Well, now with the current evolutions, he does have the proper playstyles. He has tiki-taka, he has ping pass, he has finesse shot. Or at the very least, he has power shot, but he also has, like rapid, and that's good. But as long as he has tiki-taka, that's the biggest important part, because if he doesn't have tiki-taka, he's useless. And I mean that legitimately. You can't have a formation either, or a game, without having the proper playstyles. So FC25 just became this whole like, you need this play style, you need this, you need that, you need all this, you know, you need these specific ones if you want to at least compete. And that's not even talking about like, you know, rebounds, constant like RNG mechanics that just like completely mess up the whole entire flow of the game, you know? So, okay, enough about me ranting about FC25. Basically, I just gave you the whole recap as to why FC25 sucks and why we pretty much lost hope in EAFC basically in general. So, and of course, it's understandable that given the current state of EA, they really needed to do something in order to change people's perspective of them and have them, you know, flock back in to buy the next edition of the game. That's where the FC26 trailer comes in. Now, the FC26 trailer was very unique in that they actually tell us, okay, we hear you. We are listening. You've told us, you have made complaints. You have made like, you know, videos talking about the problems. You have problems with the game. All right, we're going to address them. We're going to talk about them. We're going to fix it. And that's exactly what the FC26 trailer does. See, and it's funny because like, I think right now we're in the current stage of like video game marketing and stuff like that, where video games now have a set audience. They're not trying to appeal to an audience per se. They already have an established audience. The only problem is maintaining them. So FC26 has done this unique thing where they acknowledge their faults, because this trailer is not necessarily for the people who've, you know, it's not for new players basically. It's to retain the ones that you currently have. It's the ones that you're trying to like tell, okay, the ones that played FC25, they've had a bad experience, but we want them to come back for FC26. Okay, we're going to acknowledge our faults. We're going to tell them that we're fixing it. They will stay. And then the ones that probably left on FC24 or maybe even FIFA 23, they're going to look at this and be like, oh, so EA is finally listening to their community. Something that we've been like literally losing our minds about for the past years. And now they're telling us like, oh, hey, okay, so maybe they did fix some of the stuff. Maybe it will be better. Maybe they're listening to us, and maybe now the feedback is going to be a lot more better. Now they might come back. And to say the least, that is a pretty good tactic. I would say that's a pretty good tactic to use. Now, of course, we still have, you know, gameplay to look forward to, the deep dive and all that stuff. Ultimate Team deep dive, clubs, career, yada yada, right? Manager mode, manager career stuff like that, you know, all that stuff, right? But the fact that they acknowledged immediately off the rip that people don't really care about a movie trailer, basically. They don't care about looking at these fancy like graphics and being like, oh, okay, well, oh yeah, I guess you showcase how much sweat they have, sure, you showcase how good they tackle, but that doesn't really reflect the game itself. You're just demonstrating your graphic, you know, your graphical like prowess that doesn't really exist in the game to begin with. So now you're telling us, okay, here's the gameplay. We're showing you what we're making. We're showing you what we're fixing, basically. And here you go. This is what you guys wanted. We're giving it to you. And I think that's good. And I think that's really good. Now, the reception so far for this trailer in general has been generally positive. If you go to YouTube, you'll see in the comment section, a lot of people seem to be agreeing that, okay, yeah, this is a really good trailer, acknowledging faults. There's a lot of comments saying that we want career mode back, which, you know, I guess, sure, the career mode needs to be rehashed or rebalanced or whatever. If you're in the content side creations, like say if you're Nick or Run the Foot Market, or if you're Inception, or if you're Nepenthes, you are pretty much in that like ballpark of, you know, it looks good, but it's EA at the end of the day, and that's completely understandable. EA, they haven't earned enough respect for us to pretty much tell them, okay, you've changed the game forever. No, we'll still have that skepticism because EA has pretty much done nothing to basically, you know, redeem themselves. And so because of that, now we're at a stage where EA has to go out of its way to redeem themselves to gain back the trust of the community. Because at this point, they've lost so much trust with the FC25 that it really needs to improve itself again. It really needs to re-identify itself as a football game for the community, for us basically. And so if that happens to be the case, and say EA FC 2026 turns out to be a great game, okay, there's good direction, just keep it going. That's all we're asking. And honestly, I don't mind if FC26 turns out to be one of the better games of FC, given that, you know, well, I'm saying that there's only been 2 FC so far, and now we're getting probably the best one. But it should be to the point where this game should be at the same level as the best FIFAs in the past decade. So if EA can manage to do that, then maybe we can start paving the road to trusting them again. But they have to earn it. They have to earn that respect. So far, they earned a little bit of respect in this regard, but we still have to wait till the game gets released, and we still have to wait till at the very earliest, we have to wait till people get their hands on their beta and test the game for themselves and see how well that works. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire thing. If you guys did enjoy this video, and you guys did enjoy, say, the FC26 trailer, let me know in the comments. And with that being said, I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.